Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft. This is probably his most singular reviewed work, his most singular recognized work of any Lovecraft stuff. Every time you bring up Lovecraft, it comes up the Cthulhu mythos. It's his Marvel Universe, it's his DC, it's his Star Wars, it's his own little continuity, his own little universe, and it's fascinating. This tale is very unorthodox in which it unfolds because it's a series of police reports, research of the Professor George Gamble Angel, and after his, because he's looking over his great uncle's papers, who has become obsessed about the Cthulhu cult and how they're all widespread all over the world, and they're very degenerate, savage, mongrel, paganistic, or what would be, I don't know, what mainstream would consider paganistic, or like, I don't know, misinterpretation, because, you know, everybody's so sensitive now. And, you know, basically slaughtering goats and just having fun orgies and voodoo practices and eating meat, just very barbaric, very, something you would see in a panel of Berserk, the manga. in the later on, there's like an orgy in every odd book. But this is really such a great piece of work. It's so intelligent, so minute, so perfectly modulated. It is a great story. It's so complicated, so I wouldn't say convoluted at all. It just brings up so many great questions and little hints of ancient aliens and other type, you know, aliens coming down to Earth, and some come to something, and then humans defaultly inherit the Earth, and they're are misinterpreted as gods, you know, as the ancient alien, you know, charity of the gods type idea in there. But and there's warring races, and at what lengths the cult will do, and how insidious they can be. It's a really great, creepy book, especially near the final end of it, where we have the Dutch fishermen. I think they're Dutch. It's been a while, but though I've listened to the audiobook, especially the Garrick Hogan version, many times. Garrick Hogan also played Biggs Darklighter in Star Wars. I always manage how to bring it back to Star Wars. But this tale in itself is just fantastic and just looming, and just there's really a great sense of fear. And the opening crawl is the fear of the unknown. What is the greatest fear? Was it the man's base first emotion is fear, and it was the greatest fear of the unknown. And that's paraphrasing. I probably totally bastardized that. It's just a great accomplishment. It is definitely the focal point in the Cthulhu universe that did so much stuff, and stuff, of course, it's now would be considered politically incorrect because this was pulp writings in February of 1928, when there's words like Negro and Mongoloid and mongrel and degenerate Eskimos, and just all over this place there's great cults that or Tornasuk that worship the same god that is Cthulhu, and it's totally multicultural, widespread. They've heard all about this. There's artifacts, there's clay tablets, there's just so much evidence. It's a great kind of anthropology tale, and they made a couple films out of this. The latest, I believe, was there's a film called Cthulhu. There's two films called Cthulhu, but those are more based off of the Shadow over Innsmouth type tale. But there is a Call of Cthulhu that the Lovecraft Society did make. It was like a short film, and it was in black and white and silent. Though I believe Brown Coat Eric, the big cheese, the big Kuna, blows himself up, dude, said that you really couldn't do a Cthulhu tale because when you see him, you go insane. There's a whole thing that just the sight of them makes you crazy, but there's another thing that these creatures have the ability to create a psychic scream that just borrows, it just digs into your psyche and just instantly makes you crazy, kind of like a psychic attack. And it's really interesting, just how psychically And then there's a whole theme of how artistic people are more sensitive and more psychically in tuned to these aliens, like they're on another level, almost kind of like a force sensitive or psychic sensitive people who are hypersensitive to, I'm saying sensitive a lot, to psychic things, you know, kind of like scanners, but, you know, who can sense, you know, they're on a higher field. Which I think that's a little bit self-indulgent, say people who are not learned, like farmers or ditch diggers. I mean, like artists and writers and stuff like that, learned men. Or like the new types in Mobile Suit Gundam, or Jedi, or Force Sensitive, or Immortals, kind of like that. You know, just, you know, the ability to sense something is interesting. There's nothing really I can say. It's a fantastic book. Check out the Garrick Hogan version. He does a great job of pronouncing Cthulhu, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's an alien language, Lovecraft said. It's just a great book, or a short story, be it. That got rejected on the first time, but months later he resent it and said he made all the changes, but didn't change a thing to the editor because it was such such out-of-the-box type writing. Check it out, Call of Cthulhu, the Garrick Hogan version. I was disappointed in the Wei Jun version, but he still has a great voice. Check that out, and have a happy Halloween.